We got a fight on Saturday night. Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. going at it in an exhibition bout. This long-awaited matchup did have some altered rules here because it was an exhibition fight. They did alter and amend a couple things here. It was going to be 8 two-minute rounds, slightly bigger 12-ounce gloves. There will be no headgear. There would be no knockouts. Not sure how you put a jurisdiction on that one. Fight would be stopped if there was a cut, and there's no official judges or a winner. However, there would be celebrity judges that would potentially call a winner. And here was the matchup. One of the most feared power punchers of all time, the legend Iron Mike Tyson, making his return to the ring at 54 years old. It's been 15 years since his last pro fight. He's facing off with a fellow legend, 51-year-old Roy Jones Jr., the former middleweight, super middleweight, two-time light heavyweight champion. But respect to both of these guys. You could see it in their eyes. A fight was ready to break out. Round two. Roy Jones doing a lot of dancing, lands a no-look jab right there. Tyson unfazed late in round 5. Tyson still moving in, was really the aggressor throughout here. Lands a hard right hand and then starts landing combos. You could tell an exhausted 51-year-old Jones Jr. getting back out there and throwing some jab combinations, giving Mike some trouble here in round 7 of 8. About as good of a fight as you would see between two 50-year-olds. Hopefully the only fight you'll see between two 50-year-olds. Unofficially, the result from the celebrity judges called this one a draw. Although the general public and much of social media did see this as a clear-cut Tyson win. Here's a look at the 3 celebrity judge scorecards. Judge 1 had it in a dead heat, 76-76. Judge 2 more mirroring that of the general public, 79-73. Judge 3 saw an 80-76 the way of Jones Jr. Judge 3 also did have Nate Robinson in a close one. Legends abound and legends weighing in. George Foreman made it clear how he felt. Tyson does not fight like he's 50. He is in shape. Too much for Roy. Joining us now to break down a truly unique night in the world of fight sports, CBS Sports Combat analyst and host of the Morning Combat, Brian Campbell, BC. We largely did not know what to expect when these two 50-somethings walked to ring center. By all estimations, a fantastic display of more than just old man strength on Saturday night. What did you make of the form and the function of these two living legends?
Look, all things considered, there were a lot of ways this could have gone poorly, which is why so much of the talk heading into this fight was about the commission and the rules, considering Tyson Jones were a combined 105 years old. But you know what happened? They laced him up. The two legends touched gloves, and they went out there and put forth an entertaining effort. Was it sloppy? Yes. Were they shells of their former selves? Absolutely. But you know what it was, Joe? It was competitive. It was fun. And at the end of the day, no one got hurt. And I know you see that unofficially from 3 ceremonial former fighters that were judges on this night. The official result was a split draw. But what we saw was a great performance from Mike Tyson. He went out there, landed the bigger shots, surprisingly had the better stamina of the two fighters. He was the one who seemed with your eyes as if he would have won it. But to go even deeper, you saw the joy in Mike Tyson's voice after the fight. He donated his purse to charity. And if you remember, Joe, as do I, that final third of Tyson's career, it was mayhem. He was anything but, as he said after the fight, a humanitarian. It was good to see Tyson maybe find a cathartic moment here in an already weird pay-per-view that somehow ended up delivering.
Yeah, that reconciliation continues. Iron Mike finds himself in a better place spiritually, but he did, leading up to this fight, talk about the reignition of his ego. And I think you saw that before, during, and after this fight. He talked about the possibility of doing this once again, says most definitely going to try and do it. When you look back on this and what we digested here on Saturday night, do you chalk this up as a win or a loss for fight sports?
It's a win for boxing in a weird way. And again, let's not forget how badly this could have looked in terms of just both guys underperforming in a gross manner, or even worse, somebody getting hurt. Look, Tyson was hoping this pay-per-view kicks off what he's calling the Legends Only League, which is in theory supposed to be a pay-per-view series incorporating legends of all sports doing their individual sport. Who knows what that means, but I do think they opened up the potential for this kind of old guy fighting to actually work. What turned out smart in the end were the 2-minute rounds. They wore larger gloves than normal. We've seen this in the past in MMA with Bellator in recent years, trotted out in older Shamrock, Kimbo Slice, Gracie, etc. Some of the old names came back. It's not always going to work. There's a small strike zone to get it right. But I think what you saw tonight, plenty of excitement on social media. You have to assume the pay-per-view sold well, considering all manners leading up to it. And again, you saw a pretty decent fight, given the obvious physical limitations between them. No, there were no knockdowns or knockouts or anything too brutal. But it was a little fun, competitive matchup in which Tyson, 15 years removed from his last pro fight, showed you he still had something left in that tank.